Hello typographer and welcome to this live stream. I'm super excited, I'm super happy to have you, and I'm just psyched because we're going to celebrate today. But before I tell you more about that, let's take a short second to introduce myself if you do not know me already. My name is Oliver Schöndorfer, I'm a user interface designer and typographer, and I'm here to help you to boost your designs with some pimped typography. So this is my goal in life and here on YouTube, as you obviously see. But the reason for our meeting or for this stream today is on one side just to celebrate, because we are having the kids will be mad because I took this away from them. However, because we are hitting today 100 Font Fridays. This is just insane. 100 Font Fridays. Since 2021, I do a weekly newsletter recommending a typeface each week, and this today now was the 100th edition of it. And not only that this is a great way to celebrate, also tonight the Patreon of Pimp My Type is going to launch with a very special offer for you. If you want to join and support my content creation, you can see that shortly at the end of this stream. So, but before that, let's dig into why you actually are here. Not just to see me happy and enthusiastic. And yes, of course, I know you're a good person and you want to have an intimate relationship with your favorite typographer. I'm sure of that, of course. But not only that, you also want to know about the 10 top fonts for 2023. And not only for Patreon, but also tonight, here or today, however, what time it is in your time zone, you will have the occasion to win one of 2 font licenses of a very special premium font. So I want to encourage you to stay until the end of the stream to get your font. So let's see if you can win that. So all right, then let's see what we're up to date now. I have a question for you right now in the chat. Please tell me, do we need more typefaces in 2023? What do you think? Type in yes or no. So let's see who's all there. So who do I see here? It's me. It's me. Then we have Prithvi. Then we have Small Biz Sidekick. Thanks for the happy anniversary. Then we have, again, what is it? Windsorpedia. Oh, hello from Canada. Thanks. Thanks for the congratulations. So yeah, thanks. Satan is my lover too. Type Satan. So, and what do the people? Pablo, hey Pablo. Pablo says yes, of course. Deep Oak, yes. Windsorpedia, yes. Maritari, yes. Small Biz Sidekick, sure. Carolyn, oh, hi Carolyn. So then we need more. We need to get out of comfort zone and start using the ones already out there. True, absolutely agree. No, we don't need to. We're saturated. Okay, yes. Hey Jana, happy to have you. So from Montenegro. Okay, Steven says absolutely awesome. So we're a bit on the same page. So do we really need so many typefaces? Of course we do, because I think it's a bit like with shoes. You can't have enough shoes, can't you? Or fonts, however you might say it. So, because in this case, and this is something very important, form and function kind of falls together, and also fashion. So you kind of need more shoes maybe, or more fonts maybe. It's a form of expression. Typefaces have a very utilitarian purpose, but also a very fashionable, visual, stylish purpose. So, like with shoes, it's not only about the fancy designs and the beautiful, beautiful serifs and typefaces. No, not only, my friends. It's all about technology as well, and technology evolves and things change. And the thing though is, and this is something very important, you have to know how you use your shoes or fonts. Because if you do not know how to use them best, it might be a bit problematic. Yeah, because, let's switch over here. So, where is it? Ah, there it is. Okay, because when you use shoes, you want to use them right, or don't you? So otherwise it might look a bit ridiculous, probably. And it probably might also fail, or fail big time. So, but what you actually want is you want to kill it with your font choice. You want to make awesome decisions. You also want to use them appropriately. So, and this, I talked so much about shoes and I kind of lost myself looking for all these GIFs. Okay, anyways. So, but what you're actually here for is not just GIFs. You're here for the top 10 fonts of 2023. And it's not only about how they look and how cool they are. It's also about how you can use them best and what will work for your design, so that you have this knowledge as well. And as with all Font Friday things, there are going to be free and paid fonts. This is super important to me. Again, intimate moment between us two, because we are the only ones here, obviously. So, an intimate moment. Free fonts are awesome. Free fonts are great because they have a lot of accessibility. A lot of them are overused though, and I do not like that so much, because this is more or less the price for the uniqueness of your project. Because in typography, form and content melts together. And free fonts are a good starting point. Some projects really require free fonts, also regarding licensing and stuff. But typefaces take a lot of time to create. And they can make your brand, your voice, your idea, your text, your content super special. So it's worth to invest in good typography. And this is the reason why I always alternate between free and paid fonts on my content. Wow, this was serious now here. Okay, I'm serious too. Okay. But 3 quick things before we continue. As you already saw, this is going to be fun and interactive, because I want you to join and participate. I might not always be able to watch everything in the chat, but I will do my best to. You will learn a lot here today, or maybe have some new insights. If you follow me along some time, you might be remembered of some things that I already put out, but as I always do not read all the newsletters I get, you might be surprised of some things you didn't pay attention to already. And you will have the opportunity again to win a premium font at the end of this very stream, 1 of 2 licenses. So stay until the end for that. Okay, but now let's get back to you, my friend. What do you say? What do you need new, fresh fonts for? Please type in the chat. For branding or identity design, then type 1. For print or book design, then type 2. For web or app design, then type 3. Or you just can't have enough fonts, obviously, type 4. So very interested in your reactions here. And oh, from NYC we have somebody. We have Lori Otis from NYC. Oh, thanks again. Prithvi says she's loving my Font Fridays. Yes, thank you. And what do we see? Okay, we have a lot of number 3s. Web design. Number 4 of chaos. Pablo, number 4. I knew it, Pablo. Thanks again, Pablo. You're awesome. Always retweeting my Font Fridays. I don't even have to do any work anymore. So follow Pablo on Twitter. And then what do we have? 2 and 3. Okay, so for print and web says, who was this? Says Lori. Then we have number 2, also for print, web developer, and then me says number 3. It's also web 1 and 2. Okay, so hey, from Canada, choose. Awesome that you're here. Awesome. So let's continue then. Now that we have a bit of an understanding what you might need your fonts for, I'm mostly focused on digital stuff, as you already might have seen, since I'm a UI designer, but I did branding myself a lot. So I know what to pay attention to when it comes to good font, and the lines get blurry very soon, because what is branding and what is whatever. So it always influences each other, and it definitely needs to fit together or go together quite well. So let's continue now with our 10 top fonts for 2023. And yeah, just have to be silly. So they are in no particular order here, just going alternating again between free and paid fonts, but you're also going to learn for what types or for what use cases these fonts work best, and I'm going to tell you why I picked them later then. So let's see. Start out with Nan Holo. Nan Holo, it's a beautiful, beautiful typeface. And if you are looking for something like Roboto, but with more personality, this is your way to go. It is very interesting and flexible, and it comes with plenty of options for UI and app design. So we're starting out with a real workhorse typeface. It's by the folks at Nan from Berlin, I think, or from Germany at least. Shout out to the folks at Nan. It contains 36 styles and a variable font, so they're all packed together in that with several weights and widths, and you can use it for headings, body text, and UIs. So let's take a closer look at that. So, and right here in the marketing material or on their application, you can see how many varieties there are and how different they can look. But what I really like to point out here is that you have a lot of design space. It is a very unusual and unexpected neo-grotesque. These neo-grotesques are this kind of typefaces like Helvetica, and they are very, very trendy. So we live in this time, or still also in 2023, I have to say, we still live in this time where people want to look like Roboto, or let's say Inter is also a very popular example of that. So these very dry and sometimes also very replaceable and almost neutral typefaces. And I do not really like that because you lose a lot of personality, especially when it comes to branding. So when we now take a look at the, again switching to Keynote, yeah. So when we take a look at these different styles here, you can use it in large and it stands out, but you can also use it in smaller sizes, and there's also this monospaced version, and you can make it very condensed so things fit, especially on mobile. It's helpful. But how does it differ now from this, let's say, the mother of all new grotesques, Helvetica? And here now Helvetica has rather narrow caps and very straight endings, as you can see. Nan Holo, on the other hand, has some kind of features, and it's very peculiar. Let's take a look at the I, or these rounded endings, like at the S or at the T. They are interesting enough to stand out, but not too interesting to be distracting, which is a good way to go. So now when you compare it to this soulless, cold Roboto, oh God, it's just so thoughtless. Hate it. I'm going to pick a lot on Roboto today. But here, when it comes to Nan Holo, it's just feeling a lot warmer and friendlier and also wider. So when you also have the option of these mechanical forms, which is a brilliant feature if you do UI design or use navigational elements, just brilliant feature where you can swap out certain characters, which is much clearer in small sizes. It will work better for legibility, and for larger sizes you can turn this then off because you want to have a more compact headline and things. So this would be the first one to recommend for 2023, Nan Holo by Nan. Moving on. And now we need something a bit more expressive and interesting, and it is here Basteleur. I pronounce this, I hope, correctly. But Basteleur, I love this a lot because we have now a movement against this very strict and rational and soulless and cold. Yeah, I'm sure you also are sick of Helvetica and all these typefaces as well, because you saw them so many times. They're okay, but you want something more lively, something more organic, maybe, probably. So if you are sick of Helvetica, type it in the chat, and of Inter and SF Pro, type it in the chat. If you're all for them, use them. You can always combine things very well with them. So I'm talking the wrong camera, I just found out, whatever. So too many options to switch between cameras. Come on. So now, moving on. So when it comes to Basteleur, it's a free font here, and it is by Alex Croisel. I hope this is pronounced correctly, available on VTF, Velveteen Type. And you will have two styles here, the Moonlight and the Black style. It is a perfect typeface for headings, and as you might have expected, do not ever use it for body text. No! And do not ever use it for UIs, because it's just too much. It's just too weird for that. So Basteleur has a lot of interesting features here, and we are going to take a look at one classic here now, which is Cooper Black. Cooper Black is very, very familiar, and it kind of blends the softness of Cooper Black with some peculiar letter shapes of medieval script. And one example here is Avona Black, a beautiful typeface as well, very, very, I would say it fits very well to fantasy and this kind of genre, medieval genre. It's by Elena Munro, also a brilliant type designer, which I like a lot. And she's also doing streams on Twitch, so check out Elena Munro and also the Avona Black review on Pimp My Type. But they kind of blend things together, as you can see these letter shapes. You can see the E looks like, or the A, or very, very peculiar letter shapes here. And now, when you take a look at this, it kind of shows in this both ways, in this black and this moonlight way. I just love the naming too. They are a bit more crazy. And the all caps, take a look at the third line. Take a look at these all caps. It's just craziness, because the letter shapes blend in together so nicely. It's some kind of esoteric as well. Really, really working for a little body text too, because here you will have some options. So you could use even some alternatives, like for the E, which is very, very unique, and for the A. So this makes it a bit easier. And this is a reason why I also enjoy this a lot. So free font, Basteleur, check this out. All the typefaces will be then summarized as well on Pimp My Type, but they will also be available. All the reviews are already out there, so you can take a closer look later as well. Okay, let's take a short moment to take a look at the chat. 100% by Stevie G. Awesome. Nice titles. Thank you. Yeah, I will never escape the curse of neutral typefaces. No, we will not. We will never escape. Okay, so let's continue with the next one, which is West. West is a beautiful typeface which kind of blends together different styles. It's from the folks at Fontberg by Daniel Perraudin designed, and it's a very, very interesting typeface, and you will see why. In 18 styles, also as a variable font, appreciated a lot, with a lot of cool features and symbols as well. It works great for headings, for a little body text, and also for a little UI content. And let me show you why. It's more, to me, a display typeface, and for something that's large and needs to be interesting also for branding purposes. So you can see there are a lot of varieties of the letter shapes and things here, and it's got an overall geometric vibe, but not that cold and clean like Futura, for example. It's also very quirky here. And when you take a look at it, what I love about it so much are the gorgeous numerals. Look at these beautiful figures. They just make my heart shine. I want to pay $2,230 just to look. No, it's just awesome to see them. They are so sober and clean, but not sober in a cold way, in an interesting way. And for a little body text, they work fine, but also in small sizes, it performs quite well because it's very sturdy. But it's very peculiar again, like the F and the W stands out too much, so I wouldn't use that for a lot of body text. A short intro text, as I said, for branding purposes, and also maybe for a bit functional UI text. And here again, these alternatives, the Q, very cool alternatives with the wave underneath it, love it. The alternative ampersand, the ampersand is so cool, the one in the middle, super crazy and constructed, and then the last one on the right side is just so organic. And also these two styles of circled numbers, and who doesn't need that? And wayfinding icons. And this is a very cool example because it's already used in some wayfinding applications and was used by the designer. So you can see it here at the museum and it performs very well. You can see how they use the icons there for the elevator and for the staircase and also for the cloakroom, and these beautiful big numerals. Love it a lot. Also combining the all caps, very, very nice. So this is a very special typeface. It's best by the folks at Bondwerk. All right, moving on and changing gears a bit, because now we are here with Hepta Slab. This is bold and with a vintage vibe. Again, a free font here, and it is a typeface by Mike Lagetta. I hope I pronounce it correctly again. From available at Google Fonts, and it's just not clear to me, how can this typeface not be overused? Can you tell me? Just weird. So, because it's so cool and there's so many awesome features and it's so strong. Man, this is a strong typeface. Use it for headings, use it for body text. It has 9 styles in a variable font. And let's take a closer look at that, because it's not like this very vintage style. It has a retro vibe, but it's not super like Western, wanted, saloon, and so on. It's a bit more contemporary, more geometric. It's very geometric from its construction. So how can this cool typeface not be overused? And what's just so nice is that it looks freaking beautiful in all caps. The serifs are also a bit cut off in the bold weights. So you can see they do not take so much time. So in the last line, it's working very, very, very well. And you have to say, your design has to be strong here. It has to have character. So don't go to Helvetica to a freaking slab serif fight, my friend. Then your design won't stand these powerful serifs. It's just so insane. I don't know. I do not know what I smoked during writing this text, but it's every Friday. It's just so much fun to come up with some text for this stuff. It's not Friday when I come up with it, but every time it's so fun. So I hope you enjoy this as well when you're reading it. Okay, and another great feature here are the waffles, the Belgian waffles, of course. No, they are very cool characters. So you have some default characters. As you can see, the W has a serif where the two the vertical lines meet, or diagonal lines meet in the middle. But you have an alternative that's a bit more simple. Also, the F is a bit cleaner and more simple here. And you have these very wavy numerals, which you can replace with some simpler versions, which also are very, very neat. So that's the typeface Hepta Slab. Use it. Go for it. It's free. No, it's just awesome. Use it. Anybody who has used Hepta Slab? So say it in the comments. Okay, what the Windsorpedia says, Hepta Slab looks great and the price is right. Yes, it is, but I normally need italics in my work. Yeah, depending on what you need here, because maybe you just, or let's say, depending on what you need, you might not always need italics, because yeah, if it's body text, I get it. You need this to emphasize things. I also need italics a lot for my body text. But for the titles, maybe it can work as a combination with something else. It's a very geometric typeface, so you could combine it with something geometric as well. And there's also a recommendation, an example on the website with which typeface you could combine it with. So take a look at that on Pimp My Type. All right, moving on. We're kind of stay in the same direction, but with a very different approach. And this here is Belarius, and Belarius is just gorgeous. I love this typeface. Belarius is a very striking type family with a vintage vibe again, but it can shift seamlessly from sans serif to slab serif style. And it comes with a couple of free fonts as well. So it's a paid font actually, but they give away 6 free styles. It's a huge super family because it contains 90 styles and comes as a variable font. One variable font, one font that contains these 90 different styles. And also coming with obliques, which is the slanted version. Not true italics, but it wouldn't fit the style here. So this is awesome. I really like it. It works very well for headings. For body text, it works okay. And for UIs, also at times. Why it might not be that appropriate in some situations is because the X height is rather high. But let's take a closer look at that for UIs. But for most situations, it will be very interesting. And you can see this variety of styles you can create also on this image here. It's by the folks from Type Together, by the way. I didn't mention that earlier. And you can see again how diverse this all is. But let's take a closer look at the different styles. Belarius Sans is a bit more restrained, as you can see. And Sans Narrow is even more narrow, of course. Yeah, Sans Wide is not. How do I come up with this great copy? I don't know. But serif, on the other side, looks very stable and confident, as you can see. And it is also interesting in these wider styles. Take a look at the serif at the W here, oh, there. Here. Yeah, it's just so cool. This very flat serif at the W. Love it. And then you have this poster style with very exaggerated serif. So there, the serif at the W is very wide. Love it. And in all caps, it fits together so nicely, especially when you make it a bit narrower. So now let's take a look at this X height here. When you compare it to Soulless Roboto, you can see that the difference here is the X height is rather, it's not the X height so much, it's more or less that the cap height is a bit higher, as high as the ascenders. So let's take a look at the H here, for example. This makes the typeface seem a bit smaller, a bit. And because the relationship between the lowercase and uppercase letters is a bit larger here. So that's also the reason why I think for user interfaces it looks a bit awkward in very small sizes. So I think it's a typeface more suited for body text and for larger display text. And what's so cool when you use the variable font is that you can really go seamless from sans top left to 50 serif to 100 serif to 150 serif. So this is just so cool how you can switch between these styles, change the width and the weight and all this intertwined so it will organically fit to your design. Very cool, very different vibes that can be created with this typeface, from very strict to very playful to very attention-grabbing. Belarius by Type Together. Miley says, I'm in love with Hepta Slab. Yeah, Shul says, love the waves of, I guess the waves from West it was. Cool. So, my question to you now in the chat again, what do you think about system fonts? Do you use system fonts? So let's switch over again here to this intimate view. So do you use system fonts regularly? Do you still rely on web-safe fonts in some occasions? Because a lot of you said that you use typefaces for web design. So do you still use Arial or maybe Verdana or Georgia, for example. So is this something important to you? Tell me in the chat. This brings me now to, Laurie says yes, awesome. And this now brings me to Gelasio, which is a wonderful alternative to Georgia. Georgia is an all-time favorite, very overused or overseen back then in the early days of the web, because it was one of the few great serif typefaces designed by the brilliant Matthew Carter. And it is very, very neat, but the world changed a bit. So people say, only for lo-fi prototypes, says Steven. I stick to what is available in PowerPoint. Yay, PowerPoint. Kedron, hey, nice to have you. So email marketing, yeah, of course you have to use some fallbacks there as well, sure. So, and here in Gelasio you have several styles. It's actually not correct, it's only 2 styles. There are more styles, you'll see that later. I think it's 6 or 8. I didn't change that from the slide before, and all the other stuff it's not right. So I have failed. Let's take a look at Gelasio here. Gelasio, okay. And it has 8 styles, 4 weights, regular to bold with matching italics. Okay, great that I have this font Friday, and it's a free font again. So let's talk a bit about these fallback fonts now, because it's still relevant in 2023, because this is super time relevant here, everything. And let's take a look at Georgia again. Accessible, nice, lovely text sample. The problem here is none of the default fonts that we had, like Verdana, Arial, Comic Sans if you need it, Helvetica, none of these typefaces, none is installed on Android. And Android will use the fallback, and the fallback for Georgia here is not to serif. And you see it's super different. It's a very different flow of text. You see the metrics are super different, switching between these two. So when you make a design and you want to be web safe, you are not web safe anymore, my friend, because it doesn't work. Because on Android, and a lot of people use Android, you can assume around 45% on this planet will visit your website on Android, so they will see not to serif. So you should pick a web font then, but you cannot pick Georgia as a web font because it's not a web font or available as a web font. You could use instead Gelasio here, and you can see when you switch between it that this is the same matrix here. And you will be sure then that this doesn't break your design or your body text, but because this is mainly used for body text. So when you switch between it, at first impression, there's not a lot of difference. But we're typographers, and of course you are a typographer. And because you are, we are going to take a look at the details here right now. Switching again, where is it? Okay. My shortcuts kind of always change during the live stream. Anyways, so Georgia, again, good typeface back then, but it only has 4 styles, irregular italic and bold italic. Gelasio, on the other hand, comes with more variety, regular, medium, semi-bold, and bold, coming also with italics. And you also have the problem of the old style figures in Georgia, which is a bit annoying when it comes to tables or other layouts. It's nice for running text maybe. And here in Gelasio you can switch and also have some monospace figures. So that's a neat feature. And taking a closer look at Georgia, Georgia is a bit more straightforward and feels a bit warmer. On the other hand, Gelasio is a bit more sophisticated and feels a bit cooler, as you can see. So like the lag of the R is a bit different, and it's also the drop serif of the A or the serif on top serif of the C. It's different. So you can see these features here, and it's creating a bit of a more sophisticated, contemporary, and not so much scene feeling. So what do you think of that? Let's take a short look at the chat again. Okay, Deep Oak says that he's using them fallback fonts sometimes, but they are not important for him. This is only because of his ignorance. Okay. As a font stack backup in web design, of course, Pablo, yeah, you use that. But again, some people rely on the fallback fonts and then it doesn't work. So I would recommend to use a web font in 2023. I recommend using a web font right away. So this should be your primary choice when it comes to typography, because the system fonts are always and everywhere different. I'm going to make a video about that in the near future, but let's stay with that. Moving on, next one, Stadio, and this one is hot. Stadio Now. It plays with reverse contrast. It's an extended revival of the reverse contrast typeface by Aldo Novarese, with this vintage vibe going from calm to playful, confident, and simply just weird. It's so weird. Again, we're in this mood of organic, playful, something that's not like Roboto and all this stuff. So it's from the folks at Zeta Fonts from Italy. Shout out to you, love your fonts. And it comes in 24 styles, variable font as well, which is just insane that they put this all into one variable font file. Again, not the italics, but the weight axis and the optical sizing and everything. It will work awesome for headings, for body text, depending, and for your eyes. So for a little body text, it will definitely work. And the thing here with this is, as you can see, is the reversed contrast, which means the things that we are usually used to see bold, the horizontal lines, they are the vertical lines, that they are not bold, they are very narrow, and the horizontal lines become very bold. So this is very surprising, unusual, and interesting. And it's also some kind of retro and weird and stuff. So what I like a lot about is this variety of style. So we start out with sottile. Sottile is, I have a typo in there, I see, sottile, the first one. The caption. I always have so many typos. I know you are already familiar with that because you read my content. Thanks for telling me if I have a typo. There's no Font Friday without typos. I guarantee you. Okay, so moving on to the other stuff. God damn it, the shortcuts. So sottile. Sottile means light or thin in Italian. I like this a lot. So sottile, from light to elegant. It's the poster style is just super insane. The weirdo style, isn't this name so cool? Then there's monolinea, which is very, very calm, but you can still feel this contrast, this vertical contrast, even at sottile. And the text style. So Aldo Novarese is an Italian type designer you might know from Eurostyle or Eurostile, which is an awesome typeface as well, and very familiar and very iconic in the type design world. But what I really like about Stadio Now is that it is very diverse. You can see here that you have, let's say, a lot of options. If you use here the text style, you can make it in text bold, and it will naturally stand out because of this reversed contrast. But you could also use the Novarese style or the narrow italic style. So you can decide on how weird your highlights should look like. I like this a lot. It might not be appropriate for a super long reading document, but for a little body text, for a brochure, for something that's more marketing driven, this is an awesome typeface with a lot of design space and variety. And what I also like a lot are these unusual curves here, this bent leg of the K, the reverse contrast overall, of course, and then the serifs here. Look at these serifs at the light italic style. They are just so playful and surprising. Also, Zeta Fonts gives you so many stylistic alternates always. They have this crazy script forms. This is just super, super insane. I just like it a lot. So also for logo types and stuff. So very cool typeface. Stadio Now from Zeta Fonts. Cool. What do you think of these reverse contrast typefaces? Let's take a short moment to think about that. Do you think that this is too much, or is it interesting? Is it too fashionable, depending on your project? What's your opinion on that? Because they seem to be quite trendy still, because they kind of play with things that we expect and reverse that. So on future fonts you have a lot of reverse contrast designs right now, and this is also more retro here in this case. I didn't feature so many on Font Friday, but tell me what you think of this concept. Okay, yeah, set of fonts is brilliant. Which typeface did you use for the titles in general? Yes, the typeface here on Pimp, my type are used is Magnet and Piazzolla. These are the two typefaces. There's also a blog post about that and a video how I changed fonts and why I changed it. So take a look at that in the archive. I think it's something like, think about this before switching fonts. Some clickbaity title, definitely. Okay, so yeah, what Deep Oak says, oh, Deep Ola, it's sorry. Says interesting and useful, especially in branding, posters, and sparingly on web, says Pablo. And Steven says they have their place and time. Definitely, and maybe 2023 is their time. Speaking of weirdness and things, let's move over to Sligoil Micro. And we have some very unusual and cursive shapes here as well. Taking a look at them. It's a monospace typeface by Ariel Martin Perez, and it's also available at Velveteen Type Foundry. One style only in regular, and you can use it best of all in a little body text and also some UIs. Because it is a monospace typeface, these typefaces are not suited for a lot of reading text, and it was actually designed for an audio game, and a mobile audio game, which is very cool, and Sligoil is an evil company in there, from the top of mind. It's a very cool idea behind the reason for designing it. And a free font. So let's take a look at monospace fonts in general again. And what font do I hate? Roboto. No, it's not bad, it's just overused. But Roboto again, it's just not interesting. Come on. But in Sligoil Micro, aces, this is rocking. This is awesome. So this is how it could look like. More contrasting, more opinionated, almost dancing, doesn't it? And why does it dance so much? Because of these ink traps. Ink traps are everywhere, and ink traps are so cool. This is another cool feature, like with the reverse contrast. Ink traps are also cool. They are not really that necessary on screen. You could argue that they also make an optical difference, but they are here a bit exaggerated and used for stylish purposes. You have this weird pretzel R, you have this punched P, you have this melted G. Come on! And you have this dented E. This is just so silly, but it kind of works because everything's a bit weird. And it also performs well in small sizes. So you could also use it for coding, maybe not for your own code, but maybe for code samples. If it's not a lot, then it will have a lot of personality there. And here you also have these crazy cursive alternatives. As you can take a look, the A, it's just so oval, or the G, come on, how this G looks, the L with the loop, or the R, the S, so very, very nice, very neat alternatives, cool typeface. Sligoil Micro is definitely lovingly weird, Jana, thanks, yeah, I like it a lot. And a quick question from Satan is my lover. So Satan, have I ever tried to make my own font? Yeah, okay, this is an intimate moment again. I did at design school, but as I found out, it's super cumbersome and detail-oriented, and I just enjoy so much using typefaces, and they are so brilliant, and they rarely get used at their potential. So this is what I want to focus on. I just kind of curate it, look at them, share for what applications they might look best. But I think to create a really extensive typeface, I don't have so much patience for that. So I really appreciate anyone who does type design. Okay, moving on. Almost done. Number 8 it is. Time for a pause, I think. Time to cool a bit down. Whew. High energy today. But now, pause is over. No. So let's move on and take a look at Pausa. Pausa. Pausa is another typeface I'm recommending here from the brilliant folks at Fabio Haag Type from Brazil. It's a serif typeface. It comes in 6 styles as a variable font and in 3 weights plus italics. It's a great typeface for body text. It's made for long reading text. So if you're doing print, but also web, but long reading format, and you want this traditional, calm, restrained, but also a bit lively vibe here, it's the way to go. It's a very classic serif typeface. Beautiful small caps, we'll take a look at that. Lively italics, and it's combining it with some very contextual swashes to spice up this noble design. You can see it here in the heading. Pausa is elegant, but not over the top, definitely not. And the italics, yes. For UIs, don't use it. For headings, depending, let's take a look. Let's take a look why depending. But here again, look at this. The introduction, the first line here. This is the story of a typeface started in, and so on. Small caps. Beautiful. Oh God, I kill for small caps. Nobody uses small caps anymore. All these young kids don't use small caps anymore. No, use small caps, especially in body text. When you have a lot of abbreviations like HTML, CSS, or WHO, something like that, they blend in nicely. It's not that into your face, all caps. It's calm. So let's take a look at Pausa. It feels gentle and organic, I have to say. It's truly elegant. And the small caps, again, are just a joy to look at. But as you can see, it feels a bit too, I'd say a bit too blunt, or it doesn't work that well in larger sizes. It's really intended for smaller sizes. It's a bit too, yeah, the spacing as well. It's a bit too wide. You can definitely reduce the tracking, but it's, you get the feeling that it's not intended for that. It's really for body text sizes. And looking at the italics though, they are better suited for larger text because they are more compressed, they are a bit more delicate. They do not look dull in larger sizes here. Overall, they seem lighter to the regular weight because I think, again, they will work well in larger sizes here. And one very cool feature now here, awesome feature, are these contextual swashes. I love them a lot. It immediately becomes so lively, I think. English is hard. So it immediately becomes so much alive, so interesting, really like it a lot. And if you follow me on Instagram, and I hope you do, follow me on Instagram, Pimp My Type, you will see that I made a video about the typeface monotype cursiva, and in all caps, which also has these swashes. And it's just insane. It doesn't work. It's too much. You cannot use monotype cursiva in all caps. It's made to be combined with lowercase lettered. However, Pausa with these stylistic contextual swashes will only set the first letter of the word in these stylistic alternates. So you will never have too much. It will never be too much. It's always taking a break. Cool. Cool. So before we move on, yes, Satan is my lover says, what a beauty, beautiful Pausa that looks so good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And Small Biz says also, gotta love a good swash. You definitely have to love a good swash. Pausa reminds Jana of American film industries in the 50s. Yeah, true, true. Yeah, you can see this for the titles. This is also a good reminder. Thanks for that, Jana. All right, moving on. Now, almost closing it. Last one, Familjen Grotesk. Familjen Grotesk mixes this strict and approachable. And we kind of started out with something that was neo-grotesque, and we're closing it. Isn't this a whole journey today? Isn't this well orchestrated, my friend? Thanks. Patting myself on the shoulder. It is not a monospace typeface. It is a sans serif typeface. So you have the benefit of the typos in this presentation as well. And it is by Familjen, a company in Stockholm, I think. And they put this out on Google Fonts. 8 styles, variable font, 4 weights plus italics. And it's a great choice for headings. For body text, kind of depends, and not so much for UIs. Let me show you why. Again, free font and not overused. So you can see on their material that Familjen Grotesk is this sans serif vibe with a contemporary appearance, as they claim, and this is true. You can see it feels a bit restrained and constructed, but, however, the details break this up. They make it special, and also the width and the proportions of the typeface is rather narrow, and it's creating this appealing brand of formal and approachable, because these bent terminals at the T and at the L, especially in the also in the uprights, they kind of are very spice this up a lot. You can also see ink traps again, ink traps still trending here at the N, at the R, at the A, at the P, and then these softly bent stems. You also see these single story letter shapes. You have a single story G, you have a single story A, which is quite unusual for this new Grotesk style again, and which makes it more approachable. So this is, to close it off, the 10 typefaces. So we had Nan Holo, Basteleur, West, Hepta Slab, Belarius, Gelasio, Stadio Now, Sligoil Micro, Pausa, and Familjen Grotesk. Which of these typefaces, just what do you think? Which of these is your favorite one? Tell me in the chat, what's your favorite one today? Before we then continue with the raffle. Who will win a typeface? Who will win? It me says, I really like Pausa. Cool, cool, cool. So Steven, Gelasio, DMDR, weird name, says Holo. Holo, yes. It's not hollow. It's a very holographic, whatever, freestyling. So then, Basteleur, Satan is my lover. Satan, Basteleur. Stadio Now, Familjen Grotesk, Familjen Grotesk. Sligoil Micro for Ausra. Cool, cool. I like them all. It's hard to decide for me. Windsorpedia says, love Stadio, but will use Gelasio. Bam! Sligoil Micro, Gelasio and Pausa. Hey Patrick, schön, dass du da bist. Hepta, Stadio and Sligoil. You can choose, yeah, hard to make up your mind. Cool. So I like it a lot that you have found some awesome typefaces that you will hopefully use and put into use. But before we continue now with the raffle, let's take a look at the next one, which is very special now. Font Friday 100, coming with shader glitch. And this is the font of the future, of the dystopian future. So it is truly a display typeface by the folks from Dalton Mark, a variable color font, and it has 9 weights, glitch into palettes and also reverse and not reverse, and it is best used for please only use it for headings. Only use it for headings. If you want to create some headaches, you use it for everything. Use it for body text then. I recommend to use it for body text if you want to make people headache. So, but what's so exciting about this for me is that this is a variable color font with this retro futuristic gaming vibe that combines all the latest possibilities with CSS and stuff in the browser. And you can win one of 2 licenses soon. But before we do that, let's dive into the browser for a moment and take a closer look at shader, because this is something that really only works in the browser. So switching over to Font Friday, God, I used so much time yesterday to export GIFs because Come on, Stefan, if you're watching, thanks for your help. Yeah, it's just, but I had to do it. Isn't it cool? It's just so cool. So, and this is a movie actually, because I can't use here a GIF, it would be too large. But now let's take a look at the demo site where I implemented it. So this uses a color font, and you know color fonts. Yes, you know color fonts. Why do you know color fonts, you ask? Because you use emojis. I use emojis extensively, as you have already seen, but emojis are my friend, and emojis are color fonts. They are actually color fonts, which means that they have colors, not just black and white, included in their typeface. So, and they are a standard, I think, since 2014, if I'm not wrong, something like that, 2014. And now this standard has evolved, and it's the color V1 standard in OpenType features. And this standard allows you to use blend modes and more sophisticated ways to change colors as well, using several color palettes. There's a good article on Google Fonts as well about this, on Google Fonts Knowledge. But let's stick with the idea that this is something very contemporary, and it does not really work in so many browsers yet. It works in Firefox, it works in Chrome, it doesn't work in Safari, it doesn't work in Safari Mobile. It's made for the future, and this is because I picked it for this 100th edition, because it's facing forward. In 1 year, things might have changed. And the cool thing with this is that this Typefaces has this glitch axis. So you can take a look at it. Let's take a look at it here right now in the browser, in the dev tools, and you can really just change. Let's take a look at the fonts panel here. You can switch between the weight axis. You can make this bolder, as you can see. And you can also change the glitch axis here. So do you see this? You don't see it because it's in the bottom left corner. Anyways, you can change this seamlessly and go use these glitches, use the color font, use the animations. So this puts everything together. The thing with the color font, though, is that the color of the type itself is stored in the font. And here you will have a black typeface and you will have a white typeface. You cannot change the color of the letters themselves so easily. But you can change the color of the glitches. So you can use the reverse style, the inverted style, or you can use the not inverted style. And here they have two palettes, a CMYK palette and an RGB palette. And it's just so cool that this makes your text alive. It's a very cool and easy effect, and kind of experiments with all that. Really love it. Very dystopian future maybe, but future. I pronounce this so Austrian as possible. And also, I'm so psyched about it. So let's take a look now how you can win shader glitch. How you can win shader glitch. Okay, so what you gotta do to win shader glitch now is you open up your email program and you send an email to win@pimpmytype.com. Please fill in your full name there, I do not need anything else, and send it to me. Only send me one email, please. If you send more than one, I'll have to disqualify you from the raffle. Only send me one email, and I will pick the first email I get as a winner and the 10th email I get. So go to your email program, win@pimpmytype.com is the email address, and enter the full name so that I know that, and you will maybe be the first or the 10th and get a license here for web usage for free. So you can use this in a project then, supported and sponsored by Dalton Mark. Thanks a lot for your support and for this great typeface to give away. While you do that, this is now the occasion to, let's say, really again, my friend, celebrate, because it is launch of Patreon. Yes, we launch Patreon here. Pimp My Type is now on Patreon, and you can support my content creation to make enthusiastic, interesting, and fun educational material for typography on the web and for print as well, but mainly on digital. and you can back me here so that I can continue with this stuff that I'm already doing. And let's take a short look at what you might get there and see there, because I prepared for you 3 brilliant tiers. And this is not just to say, yeah, you can support me. I also want you to give you an opportunity to get a bit more input, to get more knowledge, to get more insights and more connection with me. So the regular tier, starting out with $5 a month, is starting with, you will get a shout out to new Patreons, definitely in the weekly newsletter. There will be a monthly video digest of Font Fridays. So you will definitely get some exclusive infos if you do not want to read the newsletter. I'm not hurt. I'm actually very much hurt if you do not read the newsletter. But if you rather want me to explain it to you in a short video, you will get that on the regular tier. And you will also have the opportunity to watch my expert interviews live in a live stream for the upcoming YouTube shows. Get the possibility to vote for articles and stuff I put out there next. The bold tier, you will get all the things, all the good things from the regular tier, plus a private typographic video review of your website or design. Short video that I'll do just for you, yes, for you. And you will have 10% off coaching calls, 15% off the font pairing online course. And if you're ultra, and I know you're ultra, because you're a subscriber, you're ultra, so sure. So you're killing it with type, then you will definitely want to join me for $95 a month and have your name in the credits of a YouTube video, have a custom font recommendation for your project from me, where I will take some time to think what fits best, and I'll give you a free coaching call for your project as well. This is limited for only 10 people. So these are the options. I'm very happy, and overall, if you decide that this is not something that fits for you, I'm not hurt. Maybe you just share it with a friend, and this is all I need as well. Tell it a friend and say, this helped me, or share with me what helped you, and I'm all happy. So Patreon just launched, and now you have a very special offer as well. The first 10 Patreons will get one of the paid fonts here for free. And not just one font file, it will be the whole family for the first 10. So serious, if you join now, the first 10 will get it. Will it be? It will be the whole family for Nan Holo, the complete family. Or it will be West, maybe, from Fontwerk. Or it might be Belarius from Type Together. Or maybe it will be Stadio Now from Zeta Fonts. Or Pausa from Fabio Haagtype. Thanks a lot to all the foundries who supported me on the launch of Patreon for providing the typefaces. So the first 10 patrons get one typeface. Let's see if it's you. Okay, but now the time has come. The moment has come. Are you excited? Are you excited? Because right now there will be a winner. There will be actually 2 winners that will get Shader Glitch. Support from Dalton Mark. Thanks a lot again for your support for Font Friday. Who will get this typeface? Are you excited? Are you excited? Type yes in the chat. Type yes in the chat. Well, I'm super excited, and take a look at my inbox. I'll hit refresh. Let's see who the winner is. The winner of the font is... Ooh, so excited, so excited. Okay. It is loading. I can't stand it. It is Caleb. Caleb won 1 license for web use of Shader. Congratulations, Caleb. So I will reach out to you. And now the other winner, let's take a look at the other winner. I have to count up the 10th email. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it is, let's see. Hey there, thank you. Pablo Lara. Pablo, it's you! Yes! Awesome! So, congratulations, my friends. Very happy for you. Very happy that you made it. And I'm super, super curious if you are, Caleb and Pablo, if you won this typeface, I'm super curious what you will do with it. Please, please be so kind and share it with me then. I'm very, very curious about that. And to all the others who are now sad that they didn't get it, no worries, my friends, no worries, because also on Patreon, there will be the opportunity that you can still get a typeface if you join. No matter which tier you will join, you can still join at Patreon and get a typeface. But you can also, if you didn't get one there, take part in occasional giveaways for other font licenses of future Font Fridays. So there will always be something for you as a thank you for your support in my content creation. I really, truly appreciate that. So, well, that's then it, I guess. Let's take a short look at the chat again, how you're feeling. How was this for today for you? How do you feel? What about 2023? What about new fonts, new opportunities, new stuff? Let's take a look. Pablo, thank you so much. Jules says, thank you for this great stream. Thank you, Jules, for joining. Yes, Pablo will use it on his website, of course. Yes, best use case. And Caleb says, he's a web designer, definitely will look for a good project. Yes, look for a great project and then please share it with me. I'm super excited because the cool thing again with color fonts is they will fall back to the solid version. So it's a very graceful degrading gracefully, whatever it is. So cool option here as well. And what have we? Osra says, enjoyed it a lot. Jana, great time. Thank you, Jana, for your support and all the comments. Thanks also for your emails and stuff, everything. Steven says, energized for more new fonts. That was my goal, Steven. Here for you, definitely. Thank you. Windsorpedia, congrats to everyone. And to the 100 Font Fridays, looking forward to 100 more. Definitely, we will see each other at the 200 mark, definitely. Thank you so much for the live stream, says Carolyn. I'm resolving to use fewer neutral fonts this year. That's the best New Year's resolution, actually. And Satan is my lover. Thank you, Pimp. Yes, the Pimp says thank you, Satan. So, thanks a lot for joining. It was great fun. Looking forward to see you in the next newsletter. Looking forward to see you in the next editions of the YouTube videos. A lot of content coming up this year. Really more educational content, a bit less interviews this year and more videos about some new facts and things to discover. So I'm very grateful that you go with me on this journey. Thanks a lot and see you in the next one. Bye.